Hello everyone, so as you see we have the doctrines kind of like video. So there are four major doctrines, or the four only doctrines in the Call of War game. We have the Axis, the Allies, the Comintern, or and the Panation. The Axis are based on power. They have plus hit points, plus 15 damage, and plus 15 hit points, but of course the plus 10 production cost, which things like that. The Allies is basically optimization. They have minus 30 production time, minus 25 research cost, minus 20 upgrade cost and time, and of course the minus 10 movement speed. That's not really. The Comintern is not really that kind of bad. If you know how to play it that well, you might have the chance to win it. So it's based on quantity. The production cost is minus 15, minus 25 upkeep cost, and minus 10 damage. The only problem with the quantity is, of course, it doesn't like the minus production speed. So if you want to fuel a big army, you have to do it 24/7, which is bad, bad for your health. So we also have the Panation, the surprise. There's plus 20 movement speed, plus 35 view range, and plus 20 terrain bonus. So pretty much like if your enemy is trying to invade you, you can't see them first before because of the view range. You can have the movement speed. So pretty much like if you're against the allies, they have minus 10 movement speed, you have plus 20 movement speed. So basically if they are trying to invade you, you have the better of the movement speed. There's also the terrain bonus. So pretty much if you can pull your enemy to a terrain that they can't handle, for example like hills and forests, I think that's it, and they have minus 10 hit points or the health. Let's go to the infantry. Let's go with the Axis infantry. We have the militias and the infantry, motorized infantry, commandos, and paratrooper. The militias are not really good. We have plus 1, plus 2 the availability. The infantry, yeah. So pretty much the Axis is based on their motorized infantry. They have plus 15 movement speed, plus 15 damage versus light things, I guess, and they have minus 1 to minus 2 they of availability. So basically, I don't really encourage stop producing infantry and just spam motorized infantry, but that could work if you have some kind of things. We also have the mechanized infantry, so just don't do it. The mechanized infantry, don't spam them, because you can actually spam medium tanks, but I'll get to that later. We have the commandos and paratrooper. For the infantry of the allies, we have its main in the commandos, which you don't really kind of use that much. So we have the damage to light plus 15 and movement speed of plus 15. They fix the minus 10 movement speed. They add like 5 more. I don't really know how to, because I haven't really used commandos that much. For the quantity commenting, you have a lot of things. Firstly, in the militia and in the infantry. The militia has the mountain bonus, plus 50 mountain bonus, and plus 25 mountain bonus, as well as minus 1 and minus 2 day of availability. Let me just take a munch of my burger. Oh, basically, pretty much that. Stick them in your hills or in your mountains, in your borders with other countries. If you're playing any Comintern nation, there's sure to be any mountain bonus. There's also an urban bonus, so stick them into your. Sorry, I'm chewing. Stick them very much in your cities, and you have plus 25 urban bonus. We also have the infantry, which has the minus 15 upkeep cost. I don't really know what upkeep cost means. Make sure to go down below and comment what the upkeep cost means. We have the minus 20 production time, which in cost makes you 20%. Not 2 hours of production time for a normal infantry. If I go to here, this thing is gonna take you around 2 hours for just the normal infantry, which doesn't really look great. We also have other stuff. So pretty much in the surprise, it's in the infantry once again. It's plus 10 hit points, and the only thing that is the debuff of the Pan Asian is minus 10 hit points. That is fixed by the plus 10 hit points of their infantry. They also have plus 30 force bonus, which will go with the terrain bonus, I guess, and the day of availability. I don't know how to spell that, to pronounce it. Availability. Okay, basically that. You have the ordnance. The ordnance have. Let's go with the axis. The axis has good anti-air, but look, damage versus versus tanks is plus 15%. If you, I see you use your stupid you're not really stupid, your anti-tanks versus a freaking tank. You have an anti-air versus a tank. What the hell are you doing? Well, I guess you have the plus 15%, but if they have other tanks like heavy tank, this thing is surely gonna be greatly decimated. You also have plus 15 to aircraft, so yeah. Make sure not really to use the anti-air against tanks. Oh no, what did I just? What did I just? Sorry for that. I have to. I just fucking press the anti-air. So pretty much maintain air superiority because of your anti-air. Maintain your air superiority, not the land superiority, because you have a 15% chance in the tanks. Make sure to use it in the air, so you have air superiority. For the allies, you have the SP artillery. You have damage versus tanks plus 15%, plus 10 hit points, which basically means like that. The SP artillery is like self-propelled, so pretty much you have, I think, the speed versus like the normal artillery, which will be super slow. Well, I guess that thing is a bit cool, but yeah. You also have the ordnance. They have a production cost, no, minus 10 production cost for the artillery. It's not as good as the SP artillery, but it can do. It has minus 20 production time. Well, yeah. They should just put it in the main for like production speed. Okay, so where was I? Production time or production speed. They have an anti-tank versus the normal armored car, I guess. They have 15% plus damage and damage to tanks plus 15%. You also have the artillery. Artillery for the Pan-Asian. I'm not really going into Pan-Asian that much. The damage versus the normal infantry is plus 15%. For artillery, it's minus 10% production cost. And yeah, we have the availability, but I don't really. They look nice, I guess. The armored cars. Now let's go with tanks. Okay, so we have for the Axis, they're basically in medium tank. As I said, if you want to spam out your mechanized infantry, you should just have been producing mechanized medium tank. I mean, because it has plus 15 movement speed, plus 10 hit points, which will basically give you a lot more of chances of winning. And don't just stupidly fucking doing heavy tanks. You should just be doing medium tanks, because yeah. For the allies, it's basically again in the tank destroyer. The problem with the allies is basically a lot of their stuff, a lot of their buff are basic on those things that you don't really normally use. The SP artillery, well, you use it in endgame, but not really. Commandos, you don't really do it much, which is basically not great. So basically now we have in tank destroyers. Said you should just been doing anti-tank or artillery, not using tank destroyers, but their tank destroyers has plus 15 speed, that movement speed, plus minus 10% of the production cost, and yeah, pretty much that. The Comintern has their buff in the heavy tank. I don't know why you should do this, because it's so freaking I don't know. Let's go to tanks here. We have the tank, heavy tank. This thing costs a lot, so basically don't really do it. And it has a day and 10 hours. And yeah, pretty much that's a bit hard, because yeah, plus 15% anti against tank, plus 10 hit points. As I said. Now the Pan-Asian, this is where it gets really fantastic. For the Pan-Asian, the two main things that you really use in early game is here. So you can like spam them all over China if you're playing as Japan, because, or Korea, because, or anything that's like the Comintern, because you have plus 20% versus the normal infantry, plus yeah, pretty much their armor card. So you have a lot of these guys. No, like two of them, I guess, if you're starting out your nation. You have light tanks. You have plus 15% against infantry, plus 15% against armored cars, which yeah, so you can have like infantry moving speed. I guess you can blitz through your enemy's line. Now in the air, we have the Axis air, the attack bombers. I really would like them to have tactical, but I think they have attack bombers. The attack bombers have plus 15% for the infantry. Oh, frick, why do I keep pressing it? Okay, so we have here plus 15 damage against tanks and stuff like that. So yeah, attack bombers, you need to utilize this, guys, if you're in the Axis. For the Americans or the Allies, that's the first time I ever told an entire doctrine as like what they look like, because okay, this looks like Germany, this looks like America, this looks like the Soviet Union, this looks like Japan's rising sun, I think. I don't know. The tactical bombers have these things. The tactical bomber has damage versus the normal armored cars, plus 15%. They have plus 15% attack range, which basically means you can attack those things in the back line of your enemy's troops. The attack bombers not really. We also have strategic bombers. For the enemy, you have attack range of plus 15% and hit points of plus 10%. For the Comintern, don't go to air combat because you don't have any buff and your enemy is just gonna shit on you. For the Pan-Asian, you have plus 15 attack range for your interceptor, plus 15 on against other planes, I guess, which basically means, yeah, that thing is great. But of course, the naval bombers, you have plus 15% on ships, plus 15% damage to submarines, and that looks great. Now let's go to the naval. For the Axis, you will get the submarine plus, or the U-boats, I think. But they're also submarines. They have plus 15% against ships, plus 15 movement speed, and yeah, pretty much that. For the Allies, they're basically in the destroyers. You have plus 15% against what do you call this? The boat or the submarines, and plus 15 movement speed. They're basically like against each other. The destroyer and the submarine. They both have movement speed. This guy can take out the destroyer. This guy can take out the submarine because of their massive kind of torpedoes, and this thing has it. The cruiser for the Comintern has the cruiser itself. It has plus 15% hit points, and plus minus 1 to 2%. I don't really know. Well, they have a good cruiser. That's good, I guess. For the Pan-Asian, you're basically in the battleship. You have damage, so you can pair it up with your naval bombers. Your fleet is fantastic. You're plus 10% against versus all, because take note, guys, that the battleship is like they can if I go back to this here, you can basically shell your enemy's provinces or cities that make sure it's in near water. So basically your troops can do all those things, which basically looks like that. Pretty much plus 10. So this is basically like the artillery, like in the naval artillery kind of thing. For the aircraft carriers, everyone except the Axis and the Comintern has a thing. So plus 1, plus 2 day of availability. This has, yeah, pretty much in availability. This thing has a good like kind of thing that doesn't really. For the secrets, the secret kind of stash, we have the Axis. They're basically in railroad gun. Basically just availability. The rockets has plus 15% versus all. Versus us rocket fighters has plus 15% versus planes, and basically that's it. For the Allies, you're basically in the basically just not really anything. Just you can get all of these: the nuclear bombers and rockets, and the atomic bomb much more earlier than any other guys, other doctrines. I mean, the rocket artillery, or not really. The Comintern has their great things in the rocket and the SP rocket artillery. You have in the SP rocket artillery movement speed, plus 15 movement speed, and your damage versus plus 10, and yeah, versus all. For the Pan-Asian, you're basically just in flying bomb. You have plus 20% versus all, and minus 20% in production time. Nothing really here, because yeah, nothing really. So that's pretty much everything in the my review here, or not really my explaining things, and that will be it. And I'll see you all next episode. Peace.